eventually people are going to say, what the hell is going on?
No matter how far you go into the dark, when you flip, you go exactly the same place to the light in our galaxy. Everything. Because everything is in balance. Everything is a polarity.
I think it's just going to get weirder and weirder and weirder, and finally it's going to be so weird that people are going to have to talk about how weird it is.
Good morning. Good morning and good evening. How are we all, weirdos? Can we get a roll call? I mean, there's already so many of you guys here in the chat, but as always, I like to do a roll call at the start. Let me know where you are. What time is it? Are you drinking coffee? Are you drinking beer? Got plenty of weirdos here. Tamara D, the Wonder Rose, Jared, Tommy Bird, one of the new weirdos. Welcome. Heather, Thomas, James, Elegant Paws. Man, some of you guys have been in here for a long time. We Own the Light, Serpenter, G-Bay. Welcome, guys. Thank you for tuning in today. It's been a pretty crazy week. In fact, this live stream is a little bit of an informal, we'll call it an informal Weird Week, because it's not, we normally do Weird Week on the weekend. It feels weird to call it Weird Week on a Friday. It's Friday here. But it's kind of going to be that kind of show. We've got a whole bunch of things we're going to be looking at today. Excuse me. You can probably tell from the thumbnail that there's a fair bit going on. Yesterday we had the well, actually, I'll tell you what we're doing first. We've got these red orbs in the sky that are being filmed from multiple perspectives that look like the sun, but apparently they're not. So we're going to be looking at those videos because they're very strange and interesting. The Chris Mellon video that's just come out, I haven't actually finished I haven't watched the whole thing, but I've seen it everywhere and I've skimmed through it and it seems very interesting. We're going to be watching that. Sounds like disclosure, basically. I mean, if this isn't disclosure, what is? We also have two older testimonies actually from some old pilots, which I found very interesting. And I have an example to show you guys of just how crazy AI is getting. Like this stuff, it's getting out of hand. Like at this point, I don't know how we can even just really believe anything that we see in video. Like it's actually getting that crazy. But thank you guys all for being here. Just quickly though, I'm sure you guys would have seen earlier in the week, the 4chan read-throughs. Yeah, you all like the 4chan read-throughs. I like the 4chan read-throughs too. What's interesting about that is last night in Discord, by the way, if you're not in Discord, the link's in the description. Go and join the conversation. It's a lot of fun. Last night, I streamed The Abyss, James Cameron's remastered version of The Abyss. And we all watched it in Discord together. And that movie is like basically what we are hearing through all these whistleblowers. And not just the two that we looked at this week, or the two videos we did this week, but the original 4chan whistleblower too. Like that movie talks about a sentient, kind of glowing, almost orb-like, deep sea underwater intelligence that originates from this enormous, I don't know if I'd call it like a vehicle or a machine, but it's enormous, right? And, you know, it's towards, I mean, I'll try not to give any spoilers, but, you know, towards the end of it, the deep sea creatures are showing humans that, you know, all the war and the bombs and all that stuff they're doing, they could wipe them out if they wanted to. And it was kind of like a wake up call to them to be like, stop destroying the place that we both live on. Super interesting movie. I highly recommend check it out if you haven't seen it, because it does feel like a visual depiction on what we're seeing in these 4chan read-throughs. I want disclosure. It's getting kind of scary. Don't be scared, my bro. Do not fear. Do not fear. All will be well in the end. Underwater light beings. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what we're hearing. What the whole New Jersey thing was, right? That these orbs, whatever they were, whatever these drones were coming from the Atlantic, from the ocean. I mean, even in November, George Knapp dropped the Investigation Alien, and in that, he caught a orb going into the water like twice. Like, this isn't, you know, this stuff isn't like, it's weird to us because we hardly ever see it, but that doesn't mean it's not happening all the time. Tommy Bird says The Abyss was way ahead of its time. Yeah, I think the original was released in 1989. Fantastic remaster, by the way. Like you could not tell that movie's from the 80s. That looked very crisp. And it on a kind of production level, it kind of felt pretty close to, a modern movie. But the style of like acting and all that, you could tell was dated, but I actually enjoyed it. I liked that. It felt, I don't know. I liked it. It felt good. By the way, we missed the roll call. We got people here from South Australia, my man Andy, Sydney, Toronto, Delaware, Chapin, SC. Is that South Carolina, Chris? I'm guessing. Virginia, Melbourne. Oh, we like, yes, Jesse on Joe Rogan was amazing. That was a great podcast. Nashville, Milwaukee, drinking bourbon. I respect it. It's that time somewhere in the world at all times. $10 coming in from Odin. I live in rural Kentucky and see Orbs all the time. I have some pictures. Love the work, man. Keep it up, my man. Thank you for the support, Odin. Yeah, I mean, guys, as a creator in this space, and not a big one, I am inundated with people's pictures and videos to the point where, like, I don't know what to do with them. Okay, this stuff is coming in from all angles, and yeah, sure, a big chunk of it is probably maybe like people trying to feed me wrong information to show. Some of it's probably just people misidentifying things, but when I say that, like, between like my Discord, my Instagram, my email, like, it's everywhere. People are just sending me stuff and I don't know what to do with it all, to be honest. So if that's you and I haven't replied, I'm sorry. It doesn't mean it's not interesting. It's just like, I don't know what to do with it. I know there are orbs everywhere. I know what's going on. It's crazy. Your experience is valid. I validate you. I hope that helps. But yeah, it's wild. It's wild out there. And that's why we do this show, because a lot of people don't seem to be talking about it. And, this is something I was actually going to talk about today, guys, is that yesterday we covered the Denver airport lady, right? Now, naturally, anything that isn't a UFO story or anything that's not around UFOs or a 4chan read through, people get a bit upset about it in the comments. This channel, I don't want this channel to be like another channel that just reports on like the same UFO stories every day. Like, for example, we're going to be covering the Chris Mellon video today. I opened up YouTube this morning, like 7 of the videos on my homepage were just like the same thumbnail, all of Chris Mellon. The little slice that's in this thumbnail, that's what everyone's thumbnail was. You know what I mean? Like, I don't just want to do the same videos as everyone else. So yesterday, when we covered the Denver airport lady, I did that because 1, it's weird, and, we are the weirdos. And 2, I didn't really see anyone else talking about it. And that's why I wanted to talk about it, because I was like, I mean, I'm sure we would all agree, like, it's very strange, very eerie and creepy, and it should be talked about because, I mean, there's a lady in distress saying some pretty concerning things, but no one's talking about it. So I will take on that job and talk about it. So I know some people don't like it when I talk about that kind of stuff or when I talk about anything that isn't a UFO, but unfortunately, maybe you're just on the wrong channel because, this isn't just, I mean, don't get me wrong. I love UFOs. My bread and butter. I love it. And it's the most interesting thing to me. But, if I want to talk about something else, I will, because it's not just a UFO channel and I don't just want to put out the same content as everyone else. I like doing stuff different. Okay. We do not discriminate any strain of weird here. Okay. We cover all the weirdness. So with that out of the way, we'll get into the show, but just quickly, I want to put out a call. Okay. Hopefully we have some South Americans, particularly Brazilians, watching, or someone who can speak Portuguese. Okay, if you can speak Portuguese, please contact me, or if you can help me out, if you're maybe a Brazilian resident, you can help me out. Contact me via email or via X or even Discord, because, and I know there are some people here who do speak Portuguese, because only about a week ago now, actually. I was just trying to figure it out myself earlier in the week and I couldn't. Basically, there are over 800 cases released on the Brazilian government's website, UFO cases, sorry, that range from 1952 to 2023. So super recent. They've just released over 800 cases, and you need to log into the website, but it's all in Portuguese and it doesn't translate. And once you're in, I know how to find the UFO stuff because I found people talking about it, but I just can't, it's just not working for me. So if someone can help me, that would be awesome. Or even if you could just like do it for me and send me all the stuff you find, that would be even better. But I'm happy to do the hard work if you can just get me in. So please, Portuguese speakers, hit me up because there is a whole archive of UFO cases, over 800 from 1952 to 2023, released by Brazil, where, you know, the Varginha case happened, Mato Grosso, the place with the green-skinned aliens with red eyes that we've covered plenty of times on this channel. Colares, you know, that place is full of stuff, and we can get our hands on it if someone can get me in there. All right, help me out. What I want to move on to next, by the way, it's, you know, it's still morning here. I got coffee. Heidi Stanley's entered the chat. Welcome. All the weirdos are checking in. All right. We're going to start off the show with something fun here. Something funny that I found last night. So this is a poem. I'm going to read you guys a poem. And this is why this is so funny to me. Okay, so I was just scrolling X last night. And I mean, you guys know what people are like when it comes to MH370, right? If you don't have the same opinion as someone about MH370 on Twitter, you are enemy number one. Okay, whether it's you believe it or not, if it's not the same, you are the enemy. Okay, I must attack you because that's obviously how a sane person's brain works, right? So anyway, this other sane person, completely sane person, has written a poem, an aggressive poem, and this is why I find it so funny, right? Because poems, I feel like poems are like the pinnacle of, like, you know, elegance and like grace and you know, displaying a really strong grasp of the English language and dialect. You know, it makes me think of like Shakespeare, shit like that. This person has written an angry poem about people who believe the MH370 videos. Okay, so I'm gonna read it out. Let's hop over here. Okay. All right, here we go. This is from Alex Boge. Oh, conspiracy nuts with tinfoil hats so bright, clinging to that MH370X vid. What a pitiful sight. Sorry. A CGI hoax, so fake it makes eyes roll, yet you gobble it up, no thought, no soul. You dive down rabbit holes, chasing digital lies, while logic and reason just wither and die. A plane that's not real. Oh, please spare the farce. Your brains must be lost in some pixelated arse. This is so good. The footage is laughable, a cheap VFX trick, but you swear it's the truth, you delusional pricks. No evidence, no sense, just rants on X streams. You're drowning in nonsense, fueled by mad dreams. Wake up, you loons. The world's not that wild. Your theories belong in the tabloid's back file. MH370's gone. A tragedy, not your game. Stop jerking off to hoaxes. You're just fucking lame. I'm sorry, but like that is just hilarious. That is so funny to me that like someone, because like I said, like poetry, you know, like poetry comes from like the heart, you know, it's like real deep. It's just like a really strong message, emotional message. And this person has written not only a poem about someone who has just a different opinion to them, but like swearing in it too. Like it's like there's like that subtle passive aggressiveness to it. It's so funny, dude. It is so funny. I just thought that would be a fun way to start off the stream because that is hilarious. So if you guys also think that's hilarious, you can go and let Alex Boj know. He's obviously a really sane and just rational mind there. Go and give him a like. Let him know what you think. All right, let's get into the Chris Mellon video. So this video came out last night, yeah, it did come out last night actually, because I kind of skimmed through it a little bit. And basically to me, it seems like disclosure. I mean, we'll just watch it. I'll just get to a couple of your comments quickly. By the way, just missed a $2 from My Toxic Fart, my favorite name to read out of all time. My poem, Caught in a Mosh, A Little Money for Josh. I appreciate it, bro. I like that poem. If anyone else wants to read poems like that, go ahead. Hey, once you're done with the poem, I'd love to hear what you think of the crop circle statistics. Apparently someone on Reddit plotted it out and dropping since the 80s. It hits 0 in 2027. Interesting. Right, so you're saying there's like a trending line with like a decline in crop circles? I mean, it makes sense. You really don't hear about them as much anymore. Finishing in 2027, I mean, who knows what that means? Who knows what that means? Could just be more 2027 fear-mongering. But, you know, even if it is fear-mongering, I think, you know, like, and this is a problem with yesterday's video, by the way. It's like, even if it is fear-mongering, just because you're talking about it, it doesn't mean you're perpetuating the fear, right? Like, I think if we don't talk about it, and disseminate it and separate fact from fiction, then it's like, are people just blindly accepting it as fear? Because actually sometimes if you analyze these things and break them down, you can uncover what kind of might seem like an obvious psyop, or it can seem just like obvious bullshit. And now, because rather than just being like, don't talk about it, I'm scared of 2027. If you just talk about it and just be like, okay, what's actually going on here? You might come out of that conversation and be like, oh, it's actually just bullshit and I have nothing to worry about. So, you know, sometimes like talking about the things that are like scary is actually a net positive. All right, let's check out this Chris Mellon video.
From time immemorial, our forebears have gazed at the night skies, wondering if we are alone in the universe. Remarkably, a handful of early thinkers, including the Roman philosopher Lucretius and the Renaissance scholar Giordano Bruno, recognize that the cosmos must contain other worlds with intelligent beings. Writing nearly a century before Christ's birth, Lucretius stated, quote, "All this visible universe is not unique in nature, and we must believe there are in other regions of space, other worlds, other beings, and other men," end quote. Today, thanks to modern astronomy and the discovery of exoplanets, we know the sheer vastness of the cosmos makes the prospect of other inhabited worlds not only plausible, but a statistical certainty. One recent estimate concludes the odds we are alone in the universe are less than 1 chance in 10 billion trillion. Another recent estimate suggests that we share the Milky Way with over 10,000 alien civilizations, most far.
Where are they pulling that data from? Like, what do you say? Recently, they're suggesting we share it with over 10,000. Like, I don't disagree with it. I think, yeah, okay. But it's like, where are you getting that figure? Who's pulling that figure? Because, I don't know, like, you could just say we're not alone and that's enough. But when you're putting numbers on things, it's kind of like, where are you getting that from?
Older and more advanced than us. In short, it seems inevitable that alien civilizations have arisen elsewhere and are as abundant, diverse, and sophisticated as anything imagined by the authors of science fiction. Consequently, although the title of this conference, "We Are Not Alone," may sound sensationalistic, it actually expresses a view shared by most astronomers. Distant alien life would be of purely theoretical interest if there was no prospect of interacting with these civilizations. However, there is a large and growing body of evidence indicating that at least one alien civilization has found Earth and is monitoring us, perhaps even seeking to influence the trajectory of our development.
100% Heidi. 100% controlled disclosure since 2017. I've been saying that for a while now. 100%.
Reputable military accounts of unidentified anomalous phenomenon, UAP, date back to at least World War II. The historical data includes hundreds of thousands of documented UAP reports, many involving multiple witnesses and radar and other sensor data. U.S. fighter pilots have testified under oath before Congress about encounters with intelligently controlled vehicles, demonstrating performance characteristics we do not understand and cannot emulate. There are military videos corroborating some of this testimony, as well as radar and signals intelligence data. In a refreshing act of candor, Dr. John Kozlowski, who presently leads the U.S. government's UAP investigation, recently stated, quote, "UAP are real. We've received 1,600 cases. These are interesting cases that, with my physics and engineering background, I do not understand, and I don't know anyone else who understands them either," end quote. It is important to recognize that the intelligence controlling these strange craft might not be biological. Dr. Stephen Dick, former NASA chief historian, is among those who believe artificial intelligence may be the dominant agent in vast regions of space. In the 1950s, the mathematical genius John von Neumann proposed the idea of self-replicating probes, a prescient example of one means by which technologically advanced civilizations could eventually extend their reach across an entire galaxy without the necessity of faster-than-light travel. In short, we most certainly aren't alone in the universe, and most likely aren't alone in the Milky Way. The crucial question, then, is whether there is a connection between the UAP we are detecting and any of the alien civilizations that have undoubtedly arisen on numerous occasions over billions of years elsewhere in the galaxy. In light of the compelling evidence that has emerged in recent years, many of us who study UAP are frustrated by the feeble mainstream press coverage of these issues and a regrettable lack of interest on the part of academia and most governments. It is, after all, hard to conceive of an issue with more profound or far-reaching implications. How many people today are aware that the U.S. government, confronted by evidence it could not deny, has reluctantly acknowledged the reality of UAP? How many are aware that decorated Navy aviators have testified under oath before Congress about encounters with vehicles they believe are of alien origin?
It's a good question. And I mean, it's a question that we all ask, right? Like, it's crazy how these press conferences and testimony and stuff come out, but it doesn't get into the mainstream news. Yet, if it's true, which a lot of us probably say that it is, or it feels like it is, it's not even like, I don't even think saying like, oh, it's the biggest news story of all time. Like, it's bigger than that. It's actually bigger than that, because it's not just like oh, what's on the news tonight? It's not, it's like, oh, our entire existence is different. It's not just like a headline story. It's like, oh, what you thought was the universe and the world and the place you live. Yeah, it's actually not quite like that. It's actually a bit different. Like, that's not just a headline story. A lot of people saying that Chris seems like he's AI. I mean, I don't think this is AI. It could be, though. And like I said, we're doing a segment later in the show to show how crazy AI is. So like, it could be, but I don't think it is. I mean, I don't see why it would be. I don't see why this would be AI. But I mean, what's also interesting is like Chris Mellon's background. You know, a lot of people say his background is sus, and I respect that. But it's like someone with this background and, you know, connections to intelligence agencies and presidents and whatever is saying this on video. So it's like, okay, still no one cares. Like, what else do we need? Paul Beaning says AI will ruin YouTube. Paul, I have like an unwritten rule with myself, and I would encourage everyone else to do the same, but you know, it's your own life, do what you want. If I click a video and then straight away it's like AI voice with just like B-roll, I'm out straight away. Because one, to me, it's just not that engaging. I prefer like real humans talking to me. But two, it's like, I feel like I owe it to myself, and you owe it to yourself. That's my personal opinion, to make sure you're getting information from a place that you know is real, that you verify, that you can tell, like, okay, this is a real human being. They're an honest human being. They might even be wrong, but they're trying their best. I would way rather watch a video of someone who might be getting a few little bits wrong here and there, but someone who has like a genuine intention, someone who's really wants what's right and what's positive and what's true. I would way rather sit through that than someone who, than like an AI or some professional guy in a suit who's like telling me things perfectly off a teleprompter. Fuck that. That's not real. That's not real in 2027, in 2025. Hopefully we get to 2027.
How many people are aware that a former intelligence officer swore under oath in live testimony before Congress that the U.S. government has actually recovered non-human technology? Why isn't the public clamoring for more information regarding these sensational claims made by brave, highly educated, and reliable military personnel? What makes this situation even more ironic and surprising is the exceptional global popularity of fictional accounts of alien life. For example, the top 3 highest grossing films of all time.
What's that? Chris Mellon talking about strange little bits of truth in media? Wow. Have we ever talked about that before? I don't know. Maybe almost in every video that I
feature aliens. Today, Star Wars has some 16.8 million followers on Instagram, and Marvel Studios, which prominently features alien characters, has 69 million Instagram followers. By contrast, the Mutual UFO Network, MUFON, which investigates and catalogs UAP sightings and provides up-to-date UAP reports replete with photos and videos, has a mere 60,000 Instagram followers. The math shows that for each MUFON follower on Instagram, there are roughly 20,000 Marvel fans. This disparity...
How do we get onto Marvel here? Why are we getting how many Instagram followers Marvel has in the disclosure video?
Between the public's insatiable appetite for fictional alien narratives and its relative disinterest in accounts of UAP is itself a fascinating topic.
Okay, fair play. Sorry, Chris. Yeah, I agree. I agree.
It demonstrates a keen public interest in alien themes, yet it remains a largely subliminal interest, perhaps due to the conscious mind's desire to avert what psychologists call, quote, cognitive dissonance. This awkward term describes a mechanism our minds employ to protect us from conflicting information that could cause debilitating stress and anxiety. It is not hard to see why conscious recognition of an alien presence would for many people prove anxiety-producing, disruptive, and difficult to reconcile with society's prevailing view of reality. Simply stated, the issue of UAP and aliens is not only subtle and complex. For many people, it is also anxiety-producing and therefore exceptionally difficult to accept or to process.
Yeah, I mean, what he's saying is true there, and it's a really good point. He's basically saying that, like, you know, people are super interested in the idea of fake Marvel, Star Wars aliens and things like that. Like, they're some of the biggest products in terms of entertainment. But as soon as any of that starts to become a reality, people, it like literally repels people. People are like you're messing with like my structure of reality. Like, no, we did go to the moon. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't need to throw that in there. But you know what I'm saying? Like, when you start messing with very bedded in structures that people have had their whole lives, it is like, I'm not ripping on people for this. Like, I get it. I get how it would be for some people who have been like, you know, like people who've kind of like, let's just say asleep, a little bit of a derogatory term, but it's the best way to explain it, right? People have been asleep for say 50 years, maybe through COVID or something like that. Something might have happened in their life, or maybe someone close to them starts going, well, you know, there's kind of like, you know, all these people coming out talking about UFOs. These guys are like pilots. You know, there was actually 1,000 people in Phoenix in 1996 or whatever that saw a big black triangle. There's like 60 people in Melbourne in 1966 that all saw something. They're all like 60 years old now and they're still telling the same story. You know, there is there's so many cases that's just not on the mainstream news. And when you start showing people that there's actually this parallel reality essentially going on here, and, you know, these people aren't just lunatics, and, you know, even if they were lunatics, what would be the odds of like thousands of lunatics who don't know each other over decades all kind of saying the same thing? That would be probably equal odds to us actually being alone in the universe. Or, you know what I mean? The statistics he was saying earlier, like, when you start waking people up, coming back to my point, it can be disturbing for them. But the thing is, they did this. They did this. Like, I've talked about this on the channel so much. They have littered fiction through entertainment. And, you know, I've always kind of said it seems like maybe they do this as a way to muddle the truth. Because obviously, up and, you know, let's just say like 50 years ago in that era, the objective was to cover up, deny, cover up, gaslight the public. You know, like if someone comes out with a sighting, these people in these circles thought it was a better idea to make that person, to essentially ruin that person's life, destroy their credibility, make them seem like a lunatic, ruin their life publicly. That was a better option than telling people the truth, okay? And by, you know, making movies like the Close Encounters, Men in Black, The Abyss, they've found a way, this is just my personal opinion, but I think it has some weight. They've found a way to, if anyone does actually get close to the truth, people will be like, oh, okay, well, you saw an alien, you saw a UFO, and then two guys in suits came up. Yeah, okay, I like Will Smith too. Yeah, great movie. You know what I mean? Like, they did this. So now they're kind of like, oh yeah, you know how we were saying you were a lunatic for like believing in the Men in Black and stuff? Oh yeah, that is actually true. So yeah, you did this. So fix it. Fix it. This isn't, you know what I mean? Fix it. This is your fault.
This, I would argue, is one of the greatest challenges we face in seeking to raise public awareness of the UAP topic and its implications. The problem is massively compounded by the unique and unprecedented obstacles involved in applying conventional scientific methods to studying UAP. Suffice it to say that never before in history have we studied anything that surpasses us in intelligence and technological development. In sum, no issue could be more profound or important, but in seeking to study the issue and raise public awareness, we are also faced with unique and unprecedented challenges.
Pretty interesting speech, pretty impactful, pretty hard-hitting, pretty deep as well. The thing is, though, like, that is literally, like, we always say we're never going to get the president to come out and say aliens are real, whatever. But that speech, I mean, Chris Mellon isn't that far removed from the president, you know, relatively, you know, in terms of like, I know he's, you know, probably doesn't deal with Trump directly, but like compared to us, he's in that world, right? He's in that world. So he's not that far removed, let's say. If Trump or any president came out and basically said what he just said, that would be disclosure. That would be disclosure. Pretty much, I think. Do you guys agree with that? Do you think if a president said what he just said, the way he just said it in that same kind of video, that would be disclosure? But Chris Mellon is saying it. And yeah, he's obviously not the president. He's not the vice president, but he's in that circle. Like, he's not that far away from it, which, you know, it's kind of like, I don't know. Like, are these people just trying to do... It's like they're trying to do disclosure without, like, you know, cutting off all TV channels and cutting to the president and being like, you know, we are not alone. Alert, alert. You know what I mean? Because that would panic people, obviously. That would, you know, if your TV cuts out and you get like the president, you know, all stations of the president, that's when you know shit's going down. It kind of feels like they're almost trying to do that without doing that. Like, can we get this message out and make people understand the severity of it without ripping off their TV channels and being like, hello, hello, because that's going to alarm people. So it's like they're trying to do it as softly as possible without a catastrophic result. I don't know. That's kind of That's kind of the vibe I'm getting because, like, you know, what else do people want? What else do people want after watching that video? Doesn't it feel like the speech was ended prematurely because he's about to go into unprecedented obstacles? Maybe, James. I don't think there is more to that video. I could be wrong. But I wouldn't be surprised if there's more to come. Because Chris Mellon only just became, someone correct me if I'm wrong, but the president of the UAP Disclosure Fund. Like, he's essentially running the show now, whereas he wasn't before. You know, there could be some semantics incorrect there, but he's a top dog there now, and only recently. So I feel like there could be more to come from him there. Heidi said, why do you think all of a sudden we have had a switch in the path to disclosure? Seems like we have had a sudden heavy push to get the truth out and fast. Well, my personal opinion is I agree with what you said earlier in that it absolutely has felt like there has been a controlled rollout since 2017, which Lou Elizondo was and probably still is a part of. Because his information has changed over that time. He's had a slow rollout of information, and it's just been an obvious rollout. The question, why? Well, I mean, he has said, you know, we're running out of time. Time's running out. I don't know what that means. One thing that would make sense, you know, is if there were agreements made in like the 50s or the 60s with a non-human intelligence, perhaps something to do, you know, agreements usually have expiry dates. Maybe something is coming up to an expiry date. You know, maybe it's like, you know, I've kind of alluded to the fact that I feel like if there was an agreement, which I'm leaning more to the side that there was, it would essentially been like, okay, we're in charge now because we have this technology that, you know, you can't even begin to fathom. So we're obviously superior to you. So we're just going to do what we want, which involves, you know, abductions, you know, a few little genetic experiments, maybe tinker with a little DNA because we need to do that for whatever our alien reasons are, maybe to, you know, help prolong our species or research or whatever. That's not important. But we're doing that now because we have UFOs and you have, like, you know, you don't even have the internet. You don't even have the internet and we have UFOs. So you're obviously listening to us now. Basically, we're going to do this and, you know, okay, I'm totally hypothesizing here. So you guys can tell me I'm wrong. So I'm just spitballing. Maybe the United States would have been like, okay, well, we don't really want you to just kind of destroy the economy and society and civilization that we've built. So maybe you guys, like, you like operate in the shadows, and they might have been like, it's not really going to work well, but I'll give you 50 years to slowly let them know. So we'll get, okay, fine. Yeah, we'll do that. But you got 50 years to kind of slowly work out a plan to let these people know that we're actually in charge now. That's just it's a hypothesis, guys. I'm not saying that's what happened, but I'm just trying to come up with, hey, maybe why is there this slow rollout? And, you know, maybe it was overdue. Maybe it was meant to happen in the year 2000, and that's what the Y2K thing was, and it didn't. And now we're really running out of time, according to Lou Elizondo. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. Watching from Louisiana, welcome Lee Sanders. Thank you for being here. The Trump and Elon brawl, yeah, that is kind of wild. You know, I don't want to talk about it too much on the show because I know people get a little bit touchy when you talk about Trump, but that's okay. But Elon, did you? Okay, we'll just talk about it quickly while we're here because I want to get onto those red orb videos because they're very strange. But did you guys see? Actually, no, I don't have it. Elon tweeted. Okay, so if you don't know, if you happen to not know, Elon and Trump are having a bit of a lovers tiff. Okay, they're a little bit upset with each other. They're falling out. They're not talking right now. They have unfollowed each other on Instagram. No, I don't know if they've done that. Maybe. But Elon tweeted. Basically, I'm paraphrasing here, but this is actually what he said. The reason why the Epstein files aren't out is because Trump is on them. He said that. Like that. Like, yeah, this is. They're not just like a little bit upset with each other. Like Elon is going ham. And then it's like, you know, you've kind of got two kind of like, or you've definitely got two people with narcissistic personality traits. That's for sure. But you've also got two people with a lot of power and a lot of money, with narcissistic, with egos, with big egos. And then yeah. So look, I don't know what happened with Doge. I think it was meant to run longer, and now it's not. And then it was like Elon's like, okay, I've done what I can. I'm stepping away. But then he started like flaming Trump for like the budget cuts. And then yeah, he just went ham. He's like, yeah, like, you know, basically like, fuck you. Sorry, it's Friday. I know it's probably Thursday where a lot of you are, but it's Friday here, so I'm going to swear on the live stream. He basically said, fuck you. The reason why you guys aren't getting the Epstein files is because Trump's on them. Go look at it. Go look at his tweets. Or should I just pull it up? I'll pull it up if I have to. It might take me a moment. Maybe I'll get it later. But yeah. Yeah. What's next? Okay. This is the guy controlling AI, controlling the free speech platform X. A lot of money, a lot of power, a lot of influence, but so is Trump. Very, very weird times. Very weird times. Anyway, let's look at these orb videos. So these, I think I have 4 videos here to show you guys. They popped up on TikTok. And basically, let's jump over here. Oh, there we go. So there's videos of this from 4 different perspectives. And what's up, Slim? Thank you for being here, my man. And these things look like the sun, sort of. They look a lot redder than the sun normally looks. But you can see the sunlight is coming from a completely other direction. So all of these videos are shot from different perspectives at like a sunset style time. So you can see the sun is setting and you can see where the color is coming from. But look at the VMFE says it's called sunset. Yeah, it is, but the sun doesn't sit there when the sun sets, okay? When the sun sets, it actually goes down and you can't see it. This is in the sky. Try going outside. I know it's scary, but it might be good for you, bro. So let's take a look at these videos, 4 different perspectives, and just take note of where the sunset is coming from.
Look, the sun's over this way. It's like setting over this way.
You see that, VM? You see?
What the fuck is that? Okay? Seriously, what is that if the sun's setting over here?
So obviously, like the first thing I'm thinking is like, you know, is this visual effects or whatever? Because obviously the sun is setting in a different direction. Like that's
behind this light. That's some Nibiru shit right there.
Yeah, a lot of the claims around this is like it's Nibiru, which is like a unofficially recognized planet. I don't know why people are assuming it's Nibiru. I don't know like how that ties in here, but let's keep watching.
That's where the sun is.
Yeah,
right?
That's clearly where the sun is. Like you can just tell, right?
The sun's behind over here. What the fuck is that?
Okay, so that's just one video, right? You know, if I had, when I just saw one of these, I was just like, that's kind of weird. Like I am with all of this stuff, right? It's weird, but with how good AI is, which we're going to be looking at later in the show, it's kind of like, you know, if I see one video like this, I'm just like, oh yeah, that's kind of wild. Maybe it's real. I don't know. It's just too hard to fake shit for me to be like, oh my God, there's a red orb in the sky. But when you start getting 3 other videos from different perspectives, then it starts to get interesting. So let's check out the next one.
Bro, if the sun set way over there, what is this? Like, what is that?
Like, look at the way that it's glowing too. It's just, it's like it's and this is what you hear about UAPs and orbs. It's that they are like, how do people explain it? They kind of say things like, it's radiating the most brightest light possible, like so bright, but there's no light coming out of it. Does that make sense? Like it's glowing an unimaginable glow, but there's no light projecting onto anything around it. That's the best way I can explain it. Hopefully you guys understand. That's what you hear about in a lot of these sightings, and that's what it looks like you're seeing here.
What is it? You can tell it's red because the cloud over top of it. You can see it. What is that?
Okay, people are saying it looks like it's reflecting the setting sun's light. The glow is behind it. Can you guys explain what you mean? Because it's like, okay, oh, it's just reflecting the setting sun's light. Oh, the glow is behind it. Okay. Yeah, but what is it? What is it? It's like, how can that be the sun when the sun is setting down there? You can see where the sun's light is. If you guys can explain it to me, I'm open to it, but look. You can look where the sun is.
And the sun don't even go over that far, because I've been seeing the sun earlier and it wasn't in that position. It was way past that. What is that, bruh?
Like, look, you can see the sun is obviously on the horizon because it's pushing that orange gradient upward, okay? The sun is orange. It's smoke? Yeah, it's clearly smoke. It's just those bright balls in the sky that emanate smoke all the time.
Hey, bro, they just right there. I ain't scared. I don't live in fear. Shoot.
Oh, my man, he doesn't live in fear. So, and again, all of these videos came out at the same time. This is all from the same. This is like 2 days ago. They all came out on the same day. They all have like American accents. I don't know. I don't know what part of America. I really don't know the details much more than that. But, you know, when all of these come out the same time, and I mean, it's quite obvious, like where the sunset is. It's like, what the hell is going on here? Sounds like Nate Diaz. It does.
What is that, though? If the sunset...
It's going to go stocked and slap that red orb out the sky.
Over there. What is that?
All right, we got another one. So again, guys, you know, this is all different perspectives. Like, don't tell me this is just the sun. Well, you can tell me it's the sun, in fact, because your opinion is absolutely valid. But I'm going to need a good explanation as to how.
That's there. That's there.
And that's not the sun. That can't be the sun because the sunset is over there.
That's a planet.
The sunset is over there.
My apologies. I think that was horrifically loud. I'll restart this one again.
That's there. That's there.
And that's not the sun. That can't be the sun because the sunset is over there.
That's a planet.
The sunset is over there.
The little kid even thinks it's a planet.
Mommy, that's a planet.
And the moon is up here.
So that must be a planet.
The moon is above us.
I don't see. That's there. That's there. See, that's there.
Hang on. I just want to see if I notice like a little like glitch here. Hang on.
I don't see.
Oh, what's that? It kind of look. I don't know what that is. Look at that. You see that? It changed shape on like one frame. There. There, you see that? I think she's zooming in as she's doing, you know, that actually, no, you can see here. That's what that is. Look at the telegraph pole below it. This is obviously just like hand motion on the camera, and it's obviously a shit phone camera. And it's giving it that stretch effect because it's doing it to the pole as well. That's why. False alarm.
That's there. That's there.
But dude, what is that? Like, there are people, I think there are people still in the chat going, it's the sun! It's the sun! Bro, it's not just, like, okay, if it's, like, don't just say that. Just tell me, explain how this is the sun. Explain how it looks like there is a sunset and what this is. Like, explain the difference. Because you can't just sit there going, it's the sun! Like, speak to me. Come on, use your words. Explain what's going on here. Actually, we got one more.
Specifies that towards the end of days, we will start seeing a red star known as the red star Kachina, and it will completely restructure our society all over the world.
So, all right, let's just pause this here. Let's pause.
That's
That one there. Let's pause.
Bro, if this
Let's pause Nate Diaz here. And we can probably leave that one there. Okay. So this, and this. You've got 4 different people all on the same day videoing the sun setting and then pulling the camera to this red thing in the sky. All 4 people from different perspectives on the same day saying, this isn't the sun. What is this? And there's a little child in one of the videos going, is that a planet? What is going on? Again, I'm open to it being the sun, but I think I'm going to need someone to send me an explanation as to what it actually is. Because to me, I don't have an answer. Okay. It's very interesting though. But if you think you have an explanation for this that has a little bit more detail than it's the sun, join our Discord. The link is below. You're welcome. Different opinions are always welcome as long as you're able to convey them without being an idiot. So come in Discord. Let us know what's going on with this because I'm learning. I'm learning just like you guys. I don't ever profess to have the answers, but I do encourage and I do encourage an intelligent explanation. So please, if you feel like you know what's going on with this, let me know. But I think it's very strange that you've got 4 people the same day videoing this thing where you can see the sunset and yeah. And interestingly, this last video that we looked at here references the red star Kachina, which you guys know. I do really like the Native American culture, and I'm fascinated by the Hopi prophecies. And they talk about the blue star Kachina, the red star Kachina, and the red star Kachina, from my understanding, generally follows the blue. I don't know. Have we seen anything in the sky recently that could be a blue one? I'm not sure. But I'm pretty sure the red star Kachina is meant to... It's meant to, like, signify the beginning of a reset. It probably seems like I'm trolling because we talk about 2027 and shit all the time. And, you know, now this is here. Maybe it's all just a coincidence. Maybe this is actually the sun. I don't know. But... that is what apparently the red star Kachina is, according to the Hopi, of course. Who actually knows? But I tend to listen to the. I think there's weight in the words. Put it this way. Let's just say Western culture. Let's separate Western culture, like modern society, to like ancient cultures, right? Such as the Native Americans, the Hopi and Navajo and whatever. Traditionally, our culture, Western culture, is like, we're a culture with amnesia. We don't know how we built the pyramids. How did we get here? Like, we don't know anything about our history. Like, you know, we have this, like, we're taught and we believe that we, like, can't figure out what happened? Where did we come from? Yet, there are these cultures all over the world who were separated a long time ago, who all actually are telling the same story from a different perspective. So there are small nuances in it, but it's essentially the same story, right? And we, the arrogant Western society, is like, oh, I just can't figure out what's going on here. Where did we come from? Who built the pyramids? Meanwhile, there are cultures all around the world going, yeah, we've actually been here for like thousands of years. And yeah, we know, we actually have stories. And then when they say it, we're just like, oh yeah, that's just make-believe. You believe in spirits and shit. Sorry, I don't know why I'm doing that voice a lot today. It seems to just be, it's just what we're doing. It's Friday. You never know what could happen on Friday. But you feel me, right? It's weird that we seem to just like blindly accept the fact that like, oh, where did we come from? Like, oh, we're so dumb. But then there are so many cultures around the world going like, oh no, we actually have an answer. And then when they tell us, we're just like, no, you're just a dumb idiot who believes in spirits. You know what I mean? I don't know where I'm going with that. But you guys feel me, right? You know what I'm saying? All right, let's move on to the next thing. Okay, actually, we'll look at I want to show you
From
guys this
time
crazy.
immemorial, our forebears.
Get out of here, Chris. You've had your stage time, mate. Yeah, we're going to look at this video of how good AI is. And this video, it only goes for about a minute. And I want to show this video because it's actually, it's kind of cool. Like, it's a really cool video. And it's like, I don't know. I just really liked it. You guys are funny. All right, we're going to play. So this is an entirely AI video. And why this is interesting is not only the quality of it, not only is it just like really, it looks really good and convincing, but it's the style. You know, it's not just like a video. It's like a recreation of the people who walk around on the street and like interview people, but they're interviewing people from like, you know, like medieval times. Check it out.
What's life like for you right now?
Woke up, stepped in dung, got taxed, and that was before breakfast.
Feels.
Do you enjoy your work?
Oh, yeah. It's honest work, and no one talks back.
What do you think of King Henry?
Oh, well, he's very committed to marrying.
How's the health situation looking?
Well, everyone I saw yesterday is dead today. So,
how do you respond to the witch accusations?
If I were a witch, you'd already be a frog.
What's the biggest challenge for a noblewoman these days?
3 hours to get dressed.
Feels. I mean, like, so many elements of this is crazy. Yes, Mick, I have seen the Yowie ones. It's like the Yowie vlogger. For non-Australians, Yowie is like kind of like our word for Bigfoot. Maybe any Aussies in here can correct me on that, but I'm pretty sure like Yowie is essentially Bigfoot for us. Let me know about that. But oh man, there's just so many things about this that are wild. Like, not only like the quality of it is really good, the voices are really good, the expression and the emotion is like almost perfect to the point that like in terms of how convincing it is. But like the fact that it's emulating very well the way that people like go and interview people in the street. Like, and again, this is probably made on some software that we could all go log onto now, and maybe if we wanted to spend the money, we could make. Right? This is the only gate or bridge between me like making this video is probably a small amount of money. So what do you think the people who have a big amount of money can do? But also people that have a big amount of money, bad intentions, but also the people who made this stuff. Like, you know, I've said it before, but like, what is the military grade stuff of this like? Like, you know, I feel like, God, this, you know, okay, this is doom porn, but like, I feel like, how do I say this? There's probably going to come a time where we seriously need to consider if what we're seeing on mainstream news is actually real or not, or just straight up AI, because we're not going to be able to tell. And that is a big reason, not specifically, but like that concept is partly what fueled me starting this channel, is the fact that like, I don't want a like perfectly clean cut person in a suit reading from a teleprompter talking to me, because I just can't trust that anymore. I want a real person who makes mistakes, who isn't perfect, who might get things wrong every now and then, but has good intentions to talk to me and help me understand what's going on. And that's what I resonate with, and that's what I felt like we needed more of. And that's why I started this channel, because like, you just don't know what is real anymore. And that's why I'm happy to get things wrong sometimes. So you guys know I'm not human. I literally do this show in my bedroom. Like, you know, I'm literally just like you. I'm just the same as you. I'm just on YouTube. That's it. That's the only difference. We're all trying to figure this shit out together.
And still no pockets.
How's business? Flour shortage, the oven is cursed, and rats. Lots of rats. What's life like for a farmer right now?
Hard work, sore back, but the soil was good this year. Might even eat something with meat next week.
Lucky man. Pretty crazy, right? I mean, it's a really cool video. Feel free to like send me a few more of those because I think they're fun to watch, and because it's not only is it kind of entertaining, but it's a good reminder. I think it's a little reminder just to be like, okay, this is where AI is at now. Keep your wits about you. You know, when you start seeing videos that make you a little bit sketch, you need to start asking questions like, who posted this? Do they have any ulterior motives? Is there a way that they could benefit from me buying into this message? These are the questions people need to ask when viewing like anything that's even like semi-mainstream. I've started gravitating towards News Nation. Chris, I feel like News Nation is like a weird hybrid. I feel like because News Nation, they're not mainstream news, but they still run the same product. They run the same business model. It's like, it is like the mainstream news. They're just not on those platforms. And I find because of that, I reserve like a 10% like susness. Just, it doesn't mean I think everything they do is sus, but like, I don't know. It makes me wonder like, why are certain people allowed to say certain things, but other people can't? Why do some people who are saying, let's just say 30% about a certain issue get a platform, but then there are these people who are saying like 80% about it and they're like shunned and like people don't really want to talk to them. Like, why is that? I think Eric Hecker is a great example of that. Eric Hecker doesn't really get any attention on like big platforms, but he's saying some wild shit about Antarctica, neutrino detectors, etc., directed energy weapons. But, he doesn't do the podcast circuits the same way the other big faces do. And I just think, like, why is that? We had a $5 channel. I've channeled a message here from EEJ. Love this nighttime video, Polarity, at least here in Florida. Thank you for working so hard, Josh. My pleasure, man. Thank you for being here, and I appreciate the support. Beth loves Eric Hecker. Yeah, interesting dude. I want to do a bit of a deep dive video on Antarctica, but I want to, how we did like the Everything We Know About 2027? I kind of want to do that style of live stream about Antarctica. I want to go Operation High Jump, the Nazis' involvement prior to World War II, potential involvement post-World War II, Eric Hecker, all of that stuff. Buzz Aldrin, that's a big one. Linda Moulton Howe's done some great stuff on Antarctica too. So I want to try and like, I really like doing that. I want to like find the best little tidbits and kind of roll it all together, and we'll do like a long sort of deep dive into what we know about Antarctica. That just gets my juices flowing. I love that shit. All right, next video. Let's jump back over here. We have a video here posted by Skywatch Signal, and looking at a few posts from him today, actually. So shout out Skywatch Signal. It's a account on X that I've only followed recently, and they post a lot of good stuff. Well, their name is @UAP Watchers, so shout out them. Go and check them out if you want to. They seem to post some cool stuff. This is from 2007, and you guys know that I love the older videos, right? Because, like we were saying earlier, ever since 2017, there seems to be this pre-planned disclosure process, right? Let me come over here a little bit. Which is all good and well. I don't necessarily think it's all bullshit. I don't necessarily think everyone that's a part of it is a grifter. I think there's probably elements of truth in it as well as partial truths. But what interests me more is the people like pre-2000. Okay, pre-2000 testimony. That stuff hits differently. Okay? There are just like ways that when I watch people speak, you can just tell when people are being truthful or not. There are some people where it's like, oh, I don't know. And I feel like that's probably usually a sign that something is wrong, because when someone is telling a whole truth and just speaking it as they know, you can feel it, man. You can feel it. And I feel like a lot of these two videos that we're about to watch now are like that. And I feel like a lot more of the pre-2000 whistleblowers and testimony that is out there, which is in abundance, you feel that too. And I uploaded a video recently, which I talked about wanting to make a playlist called the Polarity Vault, and I uploaded one video to it. Classic ADHD maneuver. But the reason why I haven't uploaded more to it is because I don't know if putting all that on this channel is the right move, because I don't want to, like, I don't know. I just don't know if that's the right move. I think maybe I should just make another YouTube channel or just call it like Polarity Vaults and just dump all the content on there for people to just, so it's all in one spot for people to go and check out, because there is just like an insane amount of, I've got so much stuff on my computer here of like old testimony and speeches and crazy stuff. But I think, you know, it's weird when we have like my sort of deep dive videos and a bit more like edited, and I mean, I'm definitely not professional, but you know what I mean? I think it's just weird mixing them together. So maybe I'll make another channel and we'll do that. But you know, that's you know, this already takes up a lot of my time. But anyway, let's watch this video. So this is from a 2007 British UFO press conference. So this is in England, I'm pretty sure. This guy's a pilot named Captain Roy Bowyer, talking about finding or coming across a craft or an object that was a mile across. A mile across. Again, remember, this is very similar to the massive underwater anomalies that are coming out apparently on 4chan, but also not just 4chan. Like, remember, and I kind of made this connection last night when we watched The Abyss in Discord, that at the end of the movie, when the mobile construction unit comes up out of the water, I'm pretty sure it lifts up an oil rig on it. Like that, you know, it's that big that an oil rig is on it. And then I'm like, hang on. I remember Lou Elizondo saying, I'm pretty sure he says he's seen it. He either says he's seen it or he says he knows it exists. I mean, either or, whatever. But he's seen a video of an object bigger than an oil rig coming out of the water. Like, that's a Lou Elizondo quote. So it's like, okay, Lou Elizondo is saying that. 4chan people are saying there is a massive anomaly under the water. Tim Gallaudet is saying there are things under the water that are moving quicker than we can, you know, we don't know what the hell is going on. Then you've got this guy saying craft a mile across, and this is 2007. Check this out.
And I fly a civilian airliner. My name is Ray Bowyer, and I fly a civilian airliner as captain.
Oh, yeah.
I've been invited here.
Great point. Phoenix Lights. People say that was like multiple football fields. Yeah, Danny Sheehan's talked about it as well. You know, there are heaps of people talking about things that are enormous. And so was the thing in The Abyss. Sorry, I keep yapping. I'll restart this.
My name is Ray Bowyer, and I fly a civilian airliner as captain. I've been invited here due to my sighting last April of multiple as yet unidentified objects over the Channel Islands region of the English Channel. This encounter lasted for 15 minutes, and the first object being visible from 55 miles distance. On nearing the object, a second identical shape appeared beyond the first.
Sorry, but he said 55 miles this thing was visible. That's like 100 kilometers.
Objects were of a flattened disc shape with a dark area to the right. They were brilliant yellow with light emanating from within, and I estimated them to be up to possibly a mile across. I found myself astounded but curious, but at 12 miles distant these objects were becoming uncomfortably large, and I was glad to descend and land the aircraft. Many of my passengers saw the objects, as did the pilot of another aircraft 25 miles further south. There is also possible radar information still being investigated. A team headed by Dr. David Clark looking at this case will shortly be published. Will shortly publish a report, but I understand that this time no definitive solution has been discovered to explain the sighting as yet. I've taken note of some of the differences between the British and the US reporting system. It appears that attitudes on opposite sides of the Atlantic are very different when it comes to the required reporting and recording of this type of event. Air law stipulates quite clearly that if an operating crew of an aircraft see another aircraft in a place that it shouldn't be, then at the earliest opportunity the whole scenario is to be reported to the relevant authorities. In my case, the British Civil Aviation Authority knew within 20 minutes of the sighting what was seen as described in the flight log and faxed directly to the relevant CAA office. The military were informed by Jersey Air Traffic Control at the same time. This is not an option. This is an obligation that crews react in this manner. In my experience, having reported the incident as required has had no negative effect, and there was no problem with me talking about this on British television. Indeed, my company, Aurigny Air Services, have offered every support to date. The assistance of Jersey Air Traffic Control in releasing recorded information to myself and the investigating team has been of great benefit. I did not feel that I was in any danger of being ridiculed because all I did was report what actually happened, as was my duty as operating aircrew. I heard about the multiple witness sightings at Chicago O'Hare Airport about a year ago now, on November the 7th, 2006. I was surprised to hear how it was handled. Despite many pilots and airport personnel witnessing the object hovering over the terminal, there was no investigation at all by the FAA. It appears that pressure may have been applied to crew members by their company not to discuss this incident. I would have been shocked if I was told that the CAA in UK would obstruct an investigation, or if the CAA told me that what I had seen was something entirely different. But it seems that pilots in America are used to this sort of thing here. I would urge all fellow aircrew to report whatever they see as soon as possible, and to stay.
All right, we've heard that. We know what he's going to say there. Guys, sorry, while we were just watching this, someone who's obviously in the chat here has just entered Discord and sent me some photos. So I'm going to show them because they're very interesting. Also, actually, we'll show this as well. So Mark's given us some pictures of a bushfire sun. So let's take a look at these. Let's circle back. Give me a moment and I'll get these in here for us. Okay, first of all, let's look at these examples of a bushfire sun. Okay, this is a bushfire sun. Actually, let's get these up next to it to compare. Which I think this one's good because
colors position. What is that, bruh?
There we go. Okay. Okay, here we go. The difference to me in these is that, yes, when there is a bushfire, it seems like I can understand what people are saying. This looks similar, but what I don't get, so the only way this could be explained is that if there's actually a bushfire, if there was actually a bushfire, right? There has to be a bushfire in this region here for that, because if that's not fire, then it has to be the sun. That's the only explanation I can see for this, is that it's fire. If it's not fire, then it's the sun. And which means, what the hell is that in the sky, right? Because in all of these bushfire sun photos, there is no glow coming from below. Like the only glow coming from below is a fire, right? Other things can obscure and interfere with light. Canada smoke drifting thousands of miles. Sorry, not sundog or bush sun. That's not either of those phenomenon. I only said forest fire sunset because just this week Canada had a fire that completely smoked out Minnesota this week. That looks exactly like what I saw. Interesting. Well, I want to show you guys this. Helen has just sent in a couple of photos from Discord as well, which she says she's taken on the beach from two completely opposite angles. So here is the sunset. Oh my God, that is a large picture. Okay. So we're going to try and do like a little panorama version. Okay. This is her right side. And Helen, if you're in the chat, please jump in and help narrate what we're seeing here. And this is to her left. Oh, another enormous photo. So these, I'm being told, one is on the right, one is on the left. Now, Helen, I'm assuming you're in the chat because you've just come in Discord and sent me these. If you are in the chat, first of all, I want to ask you, the lighting looks very different. Oh, it's the wrong thing. Now, obviously, the lighting is going to look different because you've got the sun setting on one side, so the light is on one side. However, on the right-hand side photo here, it's very, very dark and shadowy, and it doesn't look like that on the left. So can you? But if this is what is going on, it's very interesting because you can clearly see something in the sky to the left, not far from the horizon, whereas the sun is clearly setting on the other side. You don't see the sun if you saw both, I'd say yes. Yeah, I think what we really need, if we are to get any like definitive proof on any of this stuff, on any of these things in the sky, that if they're anything, we need to see a picture of the sun in the sky next to these things. Otherwise, we can't conclude anything. But these two pictures are certainly interesting. If they are, and Helen, if your name on YouTube isn't Helen and you're talking, I have no idea who you are, but it would be good if you could come into the chat and try and explain this for everybody. But if this is authentic and this is literally your right and your left, it's very interesting. And, you know, you've obviously only just came in and sent me these now. So, you know, it's not like this was just sent to me and, you know, it's not like this was sent to me by someone randomly for me to try and like to feed me shit information on a show. This was sent to me, what's the word? Not sporadically. I don't know the word. It was sent to me out of the blue because I happened to talk about it within minutes of me talking about it, right? So that leads me to believe that these photos may possibly be authentic, but obviously the lighting does look a little bit weird. Perhaps they've been taken maybe like 30 minutes apart. I don't know. Yeah, look, I did just get permission from the Pentagon to share these guys. They have not been vetted yet, but it is definitely a UFO and not a cornfield. What do you guys think? Look, I just got sent these to me by a pilot. I've got permission to share them. It's not my fault. It's not my fault. All right, let's get rid of those. Let's get those out of here. Otherwise, Lou Elizondo isn't going to pay me this week. If I keep shitting on Lou, he's not going to pay me. Got to stay on that CIA payroll. You know what I'm saying? All right, we got another quick. We got a couple of things left. Another one is another pilot testimony. Okay, this time this is actually an older video from a Danish pilot. Let's
What's life like for you right now?
I'll get out of here. Actually, no, we were in the right place. What am I doing? Okay, again from Skywatch Signal or UAP Skywatchers. So this is a Danish Air Force pilot, Major Hans Petersen, talking about flying saucers. Expect a knock on the door? Possibly. All right, let's do this. Let's check this one out.
And it was clear to me that the saucers we intercepted could hear what I told the pilots, because they reacted on my instructions to the pilots. It was one day when one of my people in the radar called me and said, Major, I was captain at that, Captain, we have something on the screen which passes with a speed of 18,000 kilometers per hour. Impossible. Nothing could fly with that speed. I went out there, yes. They were passing with 18,000 kilometers per hour. All of a sudden, after some while, they did not pass anymore. They were stationary around the field. And they came and they left without we could see it. All of a sudden they were there. All of a sudden when the sweep came around, they were gone. I contacted the operations officer and the station commander. They both came out and they wouldn't believe me. I said, give me 4 aircraft and I'll intercept them. Okay. Sometimes there were about 20 objects around the field, and sometimes we were down to a few. It was fog. And therefore, a lot of people afterwards said, oh, it was inversion, but it was not. It's proven afterwards it could not be inversion, which is a meteorological phenomenon. So at 11 o'clock, I had 4 jets at the runway, and at 11 o'clock, the fork lifted so we could take off. And I ordered the 4 jets to take off. In that moment, there was 12 objects around the field. And when I said you are cleared for takeoff to intercept unidentified flying objects, 10 of them went away. Right when the sweep came back, there was only 2 left. 1 10 miles north of the field, 1 15 miles south of the field. I sent the 2 aircraft to the north and the 2 aircraft to the south. 2 aircraft to the north came first, and I said, your boogie, which is the object, is 12 o'clock straight ahead. 12 o'clock, distance 5 miles, altitude unknown. Do we have it in sight? Gone. Came the next one. When it came up, I said, your boogie is 12 o'clock, range 5 miles, altitude unknown. Do we have it in sight? Gone.
So why I found this interesting is because he's obviously referring to the fact that these UFOs are reacting to him speaking to his other pilots, right? And this, to me, sounds exactly like what the 4chan whistleblower said, which is that they are conscious spatial entities. And when I made that video, by the way, when I made the 4chan read through, I was going to like add in a few little bits of B-roll and show all the people that have spoken about it, but I have showed a lot of it on the channel already. But I do try and sort of include older stuff for new people and whatever. But like, you remember Michael Schellenberger when he was at the UAP hearing and he was talking about roiling like the surface of the sun, like the skin of the craft is alive. James Fox has said this as well. So many people say that like it feels like they were alive. And that's what the 4chan whistleblower has said, and that's what this Danish Air Force major, that's like not, you know, he's not just some random dude, Hans Petersen. Very interesting. Now, I've just gotten a video sent in here by Tamara. Let's check this one out. Give me 1 sec. This is apparently, it's titled, "What is Going On? She Actually Saw Them Both." And I think it's referring to the 2 sons. So, all right, let's take a listen to this. Where are we? 1 second. So this video is apparently someone who saw both of these things in the sky at the same time. Okay, don't love that size, but might have to deal with it. Okay.
Sunrise or sunset, and I've received another instance of dual suns, this time at sunrise, visible from the North Island of New Zealand, June 20th of 2023. A young lady was standing along the edge of the coast of the Bay of Plenty here in New Zealand when she looked out over the Pacific Ocean and saw 2 suns. She actually saw them in the sky at sunrise on June 20th of 2023. We're going to come back and take a look at that article and the photos here in just a moment. Also, I've got more photos from up here in the Northern Hemisphere on the GOES X-ray.
Come on, bro. We'll get to the point here. We're running a live show, mate. We don't have time for your adverts.
Edge of the Bay of Plenty. A young lady on the 20th during sunrise saw 2 suns, and this is the photo that she took of this encounter, a rare dual sun rising visible from New Zealand. And an article was shared with me from weatherwatch.co.nz, and it goes on to say, what in the Tatooine from the movie Star Wars, 2 suns rising, super rare optical illusion seen in New Zealand this week. And that's how they're interpreting what this young lady saw with the naked eye. She saw 2 suns rising from the North Island of New Zealand on the morning of June 20th of 2023. And here's the photos that she took of this rare sky phenomena that she saw, again, on the morning of...
But, like, this just seems like an optical illusion to me. Well, I don't know if that's the right word, but this seems like it's just a... Yeah, you know, optical illusion is the right word. Yeah. I could be wrong. Let's keep watching.
June the 20th, and notice the double reflections above the sun and below the sun. That indicates two light sources. That's how I interpret that. Here you can really see the glare from what appear to be two light sources at sunrise. And she said the one on the right blended with the one on the left and then disappeared. As you can see in the photos, now it's down to one sun that we normally see at sunrise or sunset. And she said the entire event lasted from 7:32 a.m. to 7:35 a.m., around 3 minutes. And I also took a closer look at one of the original photos right here, looking for that separation point between that one.
That's pretty interesting. The fact that it's, I mean, it is obviously an optical illusion, but it's interesting how much, like, how you could be fooled by this, you know, like even if you went and did some like analysis on this, not knowing what you were looking at, you would be like, oh, there's obviously two things in this photo, but even like the camera is capturing this optical illusion.
One over on the layout 3, and you see one sun at sunrise. That's the original photo. A secondary sun in the sky at sunrise, glass or windows or a windshield. She's just standing out.
I feel like a lot of, I feel like a lot of people get done by this stuff. And look, this is just my personal opinion. This is a lens flare. You guys, I don't know if you can see my mouse, but this little thing here, just near the little thing, is a lens flare. Or some kind of like lens camera artifact, right? Like I said earlier, I get sent a lot of things, and a lot of things do look like these lens flares, unfortunately. And again, it's like, you know, I don't want to be like, you know, when someone sends me something, I'm not going to be like, that's a lens flare. Like, I don't know. I don't feel like that's my job. I don't really want to, like, I don't know. Do you guys feel like I should do that? Like, you know, is that the right thing to do? To be like, hey, what you are excited about to send me is actually, it looks like a lens flare, in my opinion. Because like I want people to, I want people to know that, you know, and like, I don't want to, how do I say this? I don't want to shit on them. You know what I mean? And I don't want to like shit on their excitement either. And it's hard to do that nicely when they're like, oh my God, I captured this orb. And, you know, again, my opinion's not final either. Like, I could be wrong. I could be looking at it and being like, I think that's a lens flare. And it might not be, okay? But it's if that's the opinion I've formulated, I don't want to be like, oh, that's, I think, like, I thank you, but that's a lens flare. Because people are like, oh, damn. You know what I mean? Like, it's, and by the way, if I think something's a lens flare, I don't lead people on, like someone just said in the chat, don't lead people on. No, I'm not like, yeah, man, nice UFO, good one, send me more. I don't do that. I mean, I usually don't reply to a lot of my messages just because there's so many, and I don't want to, like, you know, favor one and not the other. You know, sometimes I get messages where I'm like, wow, that is anomalous. That is, like, I have no idea what that is. And I still might not reply because, like, there's just too many. There's just too many. But don't get me wrong. If I ever got something that was like more than just like some bright pixels moving in a weird way on a night sky, I would absolutely be like, okay, well, this looks like a craft. Like, of course I'm going to talk about that. But, like, you know, with the amount of things that I get that I'm just like, could be a star, could be a lens flare, could be a satellite. It's yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to make a video about that. You know, someone else might want to, go for it. That's just not really what I want to do with the channel. But I will say I'm flattered and grateful that people feel comfortable sending me that stuff. Like, that means a lot to me, and I do appreciate it. And I feel guilty that I can't reply to everyone because, yeah, like, I actually do. I'm grateful and I do appreciate it. But if I tried to reply to everyone, I would just spend my day replying to people and replying to people about videos that I'm like, I can't do anything with. I'm not going to do anything with. So yeah, that's, not sure how we ended up there, but yeah, I think that's a lens flare. I think, yeah, this video is interesting. This was cool. This part was cool, but not quite what we were looking at. I think, yeah, I think these are two different things, but this is interesting. Yes. Okay. So Helen did enter the chat somewhere up here and told us what we were looking at in those pictures before. I can't find it. The chat's moving pretty quickly. Helen, if you can let us know again. Actually, no, I remember you said, I did see it briefly. You said something like you asked ChatGPT to help explain it for you. Don't do that. And I know ChatGPT is like our best friend with like research and stuff like that. And it can be a great tool, 100%. But don't rely on it to like explain anomalous phenomena to you. Because, I mean, I've done it. And like, it's, you know, just remember, it's trained on a data set. It's just trained on a data set that, you know, it's trained on the internet. And I'm sure it would have said something to you. If you had have said something like, is this a UFO or is this like an orb? It probably would have said like something like this. Yeah, that's totally valid for you to think that what you're looking at here is an orb or a UFO. That's a common misconception with these anomalous phenomena. What you're actually seeing here is just generic explanation. What you're actually seeing here is just a Chinese lantern. It's actually Venus. What you're actually seeing here is just swamp gas. It's a weather balloon, okay? It's trained on like, on all the garbage, okay? Now, I'm not saying it's wrong, because it like what was in your pictures might just be a lens flare or whatever, right? But don't expect ChatGPT to be like, wow, that looks like a genuine UFO, possibly originating from Zeta Reticuli, where the skin of the craft looks like it's roiling like the sun and it's alive and it's moving in ways that we just can't explain. Like ChatGPT is never going to say that to you ever, ever. Even if you gave ChatGPT just an irrefutable picture of a UFO, because of what it's trained on, it's going to be like, yeah, I can understand why you think that's a UFO, but actually it's just a lantern. Like it could be the most 4K picture because it doesn't know that. It doesn't have that data, right? That's why ChatGPT is not good for like researching shit that is like unknown or anomalous. But it's a great research tool for like general stuff, 100%. Swamp gas, the final Borb. ChatGPT is pretty open-minded. ChatGPT, let's get out of here. ChatGPT is interesting because I feel like lately at some point ChatGPT has kind of started like just telling you whatever you want to hear. ChatGPT, like I've noticed as well, it always seems to, no matter what you start talking to it about, it always finishes what it says with a like lead-in question or prompt to continue the interaction. And I didn't used to do that. It didn't used to do that. It used to just kind of answer your question. And now it's like, you know, like if you asked it a picture about a UFO, it would be like, would you like me to, like, it would tell you what your question, and then it would finish off by saying like, would you like me to summarize, you know, what we understand about UFOs and why they're a conspiracy theory? Would you like me to summarize conspiracy theories for you so you get a better understanding of why your belief in UFOs is ridiculous, you idiot? That's the kind of thing ChatGPT is going to say to you. And that's why it's just not a good thing for this kind of research, but it is a great tool for other things, 100%. Crazy T, I asked Grok, what are the chances of NHI being real based on the testimonies of David Grush, Matthew Brown, Chris Bledsoe, etc.? And it said 25%. That's interesting. Did you ask how it came to that figure? ChatGPT is engagement farming? 100% it is. So many of my conversations with ChatGPT are literally just like a question at the start. And then if you scroll down the conversation, it's me just going, yes, 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 because it just keeps finishing what it's saying with like, would you like me to go above and beyond and write you a fully fledged report on everything you need to know about this? Yes. And then you do that and it's like, would you like to hear some other ideas about things that you could be interested in that are related to what you just asked about? Yes. Haha, now I've got all this for you. Would you like me to keep going? I know everything. Yes. It just doesn't end. It is 100% programmed to keep you on it. Why? I don't really know. Well, probably because you run out of daily messages unless you pay for it. Here you go. It's all about the money. One last thing we're going to look at today is, by the way, if anyone thinks they've got anything interesting that I've maybe missed that's come out recently, jump in Discord, send it to me. Just chuck it in videos And like, if you think it's something, you know, not too long, okay, don't send me like a 3-hour Jesse Michaels podcast, okay? We can't look at that. But if you've got like a TikTok clip or a short YouTube video, or if you're going to YouTube video, timestamp it or something, I'm keen to check it out. We've got a bit of time left in this show, but we're just going to look at one Reddit post quickly. This got posted to Reddit. I don't know when it got posted to Reddit, but I found it on X by someone called Maybe Vishnu, and it's been deleted from Reddit. That's why it's kind of interesting. I don't know why it got deleted, but it says, some Redditor's kid is writing the source code down on things. I took exactly the right amount of 4-HO-DMT for this. The writing is following the geometric lattice of reality itself. I don't know what that means. I'm just reporting it. Look, I don't know what he's talking about here. He could just be trolling about like DMT. But obviously why it's interesting is that people say that they see these kind of what can we call these? Like, I mean, they're not hieroglyphics, but they kind of are. You know, the whole DMT thing, right? You know, the whole fire the laser at the wall, diffracted laser. You can see source code, right? That's a thing. This is apparently some kid is doodling this stuff apparently, and I'm assuming from this post, what they're saying is like maybe they've taken DMT and they've done a similar experiment and seen these kind of figures. But it's interesting. Like, I kind of want to tail into something here that I've been wanting to talk about in the channel. I don't think I'll go too deep into it. I've kind of, yeah, okay. I'll touch on it quickly. These symbols that seem to be visible when you look through a laser in DMT are very similar to, how can I find this? Okay, no, I don't want to give away too much because I think we'll talk about it in a video, but I'm sorry, but these symbols are very similar to, let's just say, the hieroglyphics that the hieroglyphics seem to appear on UFOs is what I'm getting at, okay? But they look like hieroglyphics. They look like hieroglyphics that we don't recognize. Then you've got these that appear when you take DMT and look through a laser. And, you know, and I've never done DMT, but people say doing DMT is like sort of entering another realm or another level of consciousness, interacting with entities that don't exist in 3D reality. As wild as that is, that's, you know, the reports from thousands of people around the world independently. And there seems to be similar symbols here and on the craft. The craft that seem to be manipulating or at least traversing through that reality. What does that mean? What does that mean? Do a show on DMT? Delta, I would love to, but I feel like it wouldn't have much substance because I've never done DMT myself. I'm fascinated by it. I'm extremely fascinated by it. And there is, God, what's his name? He was just on Third Eye Drops podcast, which is great, by the way. Go and check him out if you haven't. He's Dr. somebody. He's British, and he kind of speaks like Douglas Murray. I'm sure someone knows his name in the chat. Very fascinating guy to listen to. So, yeah, there's definitely a lot to that. I would love to talk about DMT, but I just feel like it's maybe a little bit, you know, like who wants to hear about DMT experiences from a guy who hasn't done it? It's kind of a bit like, I don't know. I'd rather just listen to someone who's telling me firsthand. I don't know. That's just my opinion. I feel like I wouldn't want to listen to me talk about DMT because I haven't done it. That's just my opinion. Yeah, but these symbols are very interesting. They seem to appear in a lot of strange places. And the point that I'm kind of getting at here is if these hieroglyphics seem to be the language of multiple different ancient civilizations, okay, similar to the ancient Greeks, the Sanskrit, the Egyptian hieroglyphics, these, like, what does that mean? And they're appearing on UFOs with advanced technology. It seems like advanced technology probably was used to build the pyramids. Probably. What does it mean if these ancient dialects and language writing styles are appearing on craft and through the laser, the source code of reality, on craft that are manipulating reality and interacting with us. What does that mean in terms of a breakaway civilization? That's what I want to talk about in its own video. Oh, I just want to talk about it because it's so interesting. But I'll just say, like, you know, the Holloman Air Force Base landing, apparently the beings that came out of the Holloman Air Force landing looked Egyptian. So what does that mean for a breakaway civilization? Advanced technology, hieroglyphics, pyramids built with technology that we can't understand, craft with these hieroglyphics on them exhibiting technology that we can't understand, breakaway civilization, Western society, we don't know where we came from. We can't remember anything. I mean, I'm sure levels above do, but we aren't told, right? Just like we aren't told the truth about UFOs. Do you guys understand the connection I'm kind of alluding to there? That these languages that seem to kind of like manipulate and appear in these, like, manipulate reality and appear in these wild exotic technologies that seem like would have been needed to build these enormous, you know, artifacts, these pyramids, are appearing like, and I need time to process all of this properly and make a this is why I want to make a video about it, because it's kind of complex, but I think you understand what I'm saying. But I want time to flesh it out so we can kind of connect the dots properly. Maybe we'll do, like I said, I really want to do like a 2027 video, but about Antarctica, everything we know about Antarctica. And I kind of want to do that same style of video, everything we know about the breakaway civilization. Although I don't know if everything we know would be the right term, because we really don't know much. But I do want to speculate and look at what that means. And perhaps we just need to shift our perspective. I think that just about wraps it up for today, guys. Actually, have we got anything else here? No, we don't. Yeah, that wraps it up for today, guys. Thank you for hanging out. I do like these sort of midday streams for me. Seems to be a good time for you guys as well. Brady Clark's just chimed in. What's up, Josh? Sitting in a plane heading to Utah. Hopefully I get a chance to catch something in the sky. Keep your eyes peeled, Brady. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate all of you guys being here a lot. Give this stream a like if you've enjoyed it, of course. What's going on here? There we go. Give the stream a like, guys, if you've enjoyed it, of course. The likes help push it out. Share it around on social media. Everything helps us grow. Don't know if there'll be a video tomorrow, maybe Sunday, but there'll be some stuff coming soon. Please join our Discord as well. Continue the conversation. Post things you find. That's the best place to do it. And if you want to become a member, join the Weirdos. It's only $5 a month. I appreciate you guys being here. Take care. Look after yourselves. And I'll see you all next time.
Eventually people are going to say, what the hell is going on?
No matter how far you go into the dark, when you flip, you go exactly the same place to the light in our galaxy. Everything. Because everything is in balance. Everything is a polarity.
I think it's just going to get weirder and weirder and weirder, and finally it's going to be so weird that people are going to have to talk about how weird it is.